Alright, about to do a 2004 Ford. I'll show you the truck in a few minutes. It's got the not the aftermarket, it's got the subwoofer package in it. So, being 04, this is old, but from my research, I know about the voltage problem. The amp, one of the few in existence, why Ford did it. Use more of a 5 volt, so if you try to put the remote from a deck, which is traditionally 12 volts, you'll get the lovely popping. So to counter that, which is why I'm doing this video, in case there's people that are doing it like me, instead of buying the $30 adapters, 20, there's different things you can do, step downs. There's a simple cheap way to do it if you're a DIY guy. So I picked up a phone charger, and if you look, I didn't want to get the 1 amp because typically an amplifier will draw half an amp. So I wanted to make sure this thing runs cool at all times, so 2.1 amps, which is pretty much a quick charger. I'll be opening this up, and then what I'll be doing is, let's see if I can get it out of the package, I'll be wiring it in line with the remote. Okay, here it is here. So I'll be wiring it and taking it apart. There'll be a board inside, and I'll be soldering a negative, which is usually these side pins, and the positive. So that'll be the 12 volt. This goes to the blue, the remote on the harness. So the blue and white will go here. That'll turn this on and off the ground, and then the positive here goes to the amp. I'll show the amp kit a little bit later. It has the RCA's, has 2 blue wires. We put those together, and then those will connect here. So when this turns on by the stereo, it'll send the 5 volts from here to the amp. That should eliminate the popping. No need to buy the $20 or $30 adapters. These you can get for like $5. Pretty cheap. So I'll show that process. Alright, I'm back. It was a lot quicker than I thought, which these chargers are pretty cheap. I just took a little tiny screwdriver, I put it in the end and twisted it, cracked it open. So take this apart, and you'll see the leads. I'm seeing them for the first time as well. So obviously these 2 here go to this piece here, and then this positive goes right there. So there will be my remote from the stereo in. That'll be the ground. That'll also connect to the stereo ground. And then what I'll probably do is bench test it and see. I don't even have to bench test it. The board's marked volt positive are the outside and ground's the inside, so it's that simple. So what I'll probably do is run a jumper from here to here, run them in parallel so it stays 5 volts, and then I'll solder those 2 together, just so I'm using both circuits for this. So because that might be a total of 2 amps, I don't know, combined, who knows, but I'll combine it. But it's that simple. That's all I'm going to do. This should make it nice and clean. There's nothing worse to me than either an alternator noise or the thump. So this will help stop that completely. It's that simple, and I'll get this on the bench and solder it. Okay, so now just remembered to do the video. Here's the amplifier add-on part for the kit. It has this plug 2 remote wires RCAs. So this will plug into that, and then this is the 5-volt input remote. So this is the factory harness. This ring tube is sitting on there. Take the remote wire from the factory harness, it's right here. I put it through here. Let me see if I can slide this off so I'll show you guys. I jumped ahead. Alright, here we go. Put power to it. Okay, there's the positive top one, negative's the bottom one. Those were the cigarette lighter plug. And then that one is the 5-volt where it's at. It's a big post there. So I tested it with the awesome present I got, which is nice because I can bench test this positive negatives. And then I took my voltage meter when I output, that goes to the 2 blue wires here. So now I'm just going to shrink, or I'm going to solder and then shrink wrap each individual, and then it has a master, this big one. We'll go over all those. So alright, real quick, we're doing the FD 3090 kit. This is for the 2004 F150. This has the doubled in or the single. We're going to be running the single. So how it goes, I already got one side pushed in, but you need this plate first, the mounting bracket plate, whatever. It's got the 2 holes in it. And these, they have the little angled pieces, and then the notch on the bottom. You know, it's a bad description, but I believe they're marked. Yeah, marked. One says right, one says left. So looking at it, that you're right and you're left. So you take this, the pointed ends, there's 2 of them, they face up. All this bracket stuff faces out. So all you do is, there's right here, right back here, there's this little, there's one there, they slide into these right here. So just take it like that. Try to get, I need a freaking pod out here, but you just slide in, push it, you may hear a little pop. So that's all you do. Make sure it's snug and they're good. So I want to went in a little bit further. Just push it snug. Okay, so now you should have it looking like that. So then for the pocket, you got to feed it through the back. The pocket has a beveled edge that faces up towards the stereo. Flat end faces down. So this is the garage. So once you do that, there's a little slot that right there, the oval slot will line up. Yeah, I think I can do this one hand. We'll try. Just like so. I think I got it. Maybe ish. Yeah. So there's a little oval slot. The screw goes in that little hole there. Let me try to do it with one hand. It's a terrible video. There it is there. So I'm just going to start it. Get it there. And then I'll flip it over. Get the other one started. It should go in somehow. This is a pain to do it with one hand, for sure. So, got it right there. Screw in screwdriver. Don't need to torque these down, just snug. If you hear a crack, you torqued it down too much. It's pretty simple. This is not a great video, but I keep seeing everybody using double DINs, touch screens, Androids, all that. We're just going to use the Kenwood. So it's a work truck, don't need movies and all the other crap. So that's how it looks right there. Of course, the deck will slide in. The deck, you don't use the let's see if I can pull this off with one hand. I've done this enough times. Maybe. Yep, there it goes. Okay, you don't need the basket, whatever you want to call this. This piece here is not needed. The brackets right here and here, these holes, they should line up with one of those holes. So I'm going to attempt to mount that. I'm going to do it off camera, of course, because I'm not going to try to do that with one hand. So that's pretty much how you put together the pocket piece right there, so you can see it. I just wish I would have had just this picture on the internet, but the one guy that did a video on this did it so fast he didn't even show this part. It was like it went from just a stereo sitting in a huge hole, all of a sudden it disappeared in here. For those of you that are making videos, for the love of God, don't even bother. If you're going to go from one step of doing the harness with a deck already in, it's a whole pointless video at that point. Just do it with the harness and stop there. But if you're not going to at least show the bracket, it's pretty much a waste of everybody's time, including your own. Alright, we're in the truck. Let's pop this bottom one out. That. It helps. Okay, self-explanatory on that. There'll be a plug on top, ABS. Just push the little tab in. Just pull it out. This, you can take it and rotate it out of the way. Okay. This one, ABS, so it'll push button tab right here. Just push it in and slide it out. That's the one you have to do. Be careful not to yank. I've seen people do it even on YouTube. Yank too hard and yank that plug off is not a good idea. So this is should be 7mm. I think. Yep. This is four bolts. Got one there, 7 mil, 7 mil, 7 mil. Let me get these over back. My full bolts are out. Should pop right out. Get your antenna plug, pull straight out, kind of wiggle it. There's that, and you have your two other plugs. Let's see. Just push down on this tab right here. Pull, push down, pull, push down, pull. Let's see. Flathead. Pull this up. That helps. There it goes. Okay, stereo's out. Okay, now we're doing the harness. So there's 3 that came out the deck. We're going to use 2 of them. Cuts like that. Yep. Push it until it clicks. And then there's a subwoofer in this vehicle. So this is a subwoofer plug right here. Small one. It's got a groove in it. That plastic groove right there. It has a groove right there for it. Signal. Now that I got this done, I gotta hook up the deck temporarily just to test it, and then I'm going to connect and test the deck. There's enough gap. Get it in there. Peel this back with your hand. And once you get in here, just lightly pull, and it'll sink down, come across, come all the way down. This piece here, it just pops out. So you can grab it from like right here and just pull on it, pop it all out, run the wire through there, and just pop this back in. Just run the wire across as a harness all down here. All I do is just wrap it, and then back under here it goes up, and right there, and that's where it'll plug into the radio. Okay, on this bracket I had to break off all the tabs except for that screw tab and that one. Same thing on the other side. There's 3 actually. The very bottom one, screw tab and screw tab. This bottom one has a little notch in it that goes in that little hole right down there. All these other tabs you got to break off. The face one I showed in the earlier in the video was wrong. This is the one you need, with the little peg at the bottom. Assembly's the same. I'll show you this other one. This is the one I had originally on it. It's different. It's the wrong mounting style. This is with the screws at the bottom. So it's not this one. This one doesn't work for the Fords that have the bolts here and the little round hole down here. So same assembly. Everything's wired up, zip tied up, secure. Extra mic cord right there. From previous experience, I'd recommend zip tying the harness to the other harnesses. The least amount of movement, the better. It's a truck, so it's going to have a lot more vibration from suspension. So, let's just kind of get it in there, slide it back, and it should line right up with the holes. Yep. Just like that. Just got to put the 4 screws in. I'm going to use the factory ones. See how they work. I think they'll be good. Snug, it's plastic. You torque it, it's gonna break. So if I do this here. Probably not. I'm doing it one-handed, so it should be easy enough. And then I'm pretty sure in the future this deck's going to come out, back out. This deck will probably come back out so we can eliminate the road map features. We'll probably get a deck that has all that so we can eliminate this road mate. We'll eliminate that and have it all in one. Okay, that's secure. Just gotta take this back here. Gotta plug, see if I can do it with one hand. It's gonna be kind of a pain. I'll set it down here. Okay, that should be in. Yep, that's in. Alright. So, now, getting it all lined back up and get it popped in. That's the fun part. So, let's see if we can make sure we get all these lined up. Should go back in nice and easy. Yep. A little bit offset there. And that's it. Alrighty. That's pretty quick. And that's what the new dash looks like. Probably a 5-pound weight reduction. But aftermarket with the EQ, all that. You're only getting a single disc, but you get Bluetooth, everything, all the options, charging ports, auxiliary ports. Getting more in this little tiny deck than this big monstrosity. It weighs like 5 pounds. A little cell phone slot, we always like those. Should be good to go. Well, let me turn the key on. And I'll solve that 5-volt step down, which was the USB charger. No thump. Worked perfect. So there it is there. This is how you do the Ford. It's all said and done. Next video on this truck will probably be a full doubled in deck with the nav.